Welcome to the HTM Buddy Build. I'm Jordan with the Line in the Stars.
And I'm Ken with Ken's Hobby Bench.
And this episode, I'm going to be working on, well, instead of building this week, probably do a little bit for both of us. But before we get started, Ken and I are here to talk a little bit about the model, the mods, the things we're doing, the schedule, and the fact that Ken has been waiting parts for me for forever. And I just went ahead and had to ship them again because that's what I do. So, Ken, on I believe Monday, I've been checking the tracking. It has made remarkable progress too.
Perfect.
It should be there to you on Monday, so you should have the parts that I have 3D printed for you. So, yeah, I'm super excited for you to get them, man. To get them printed again and actually successfully print them again. My God.
And I'm looking forward to receiving them too. I've been waiting to do this build with you for months since we started talking about it.
I think I bought this the week before American Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken. So we've been talking about it since right around mid-November, and maybe even a little bit beforehand. Like, I think buying of this kit was, like, for me at least, a final, like, okay, we're doing this. I think we've been talking about this a lot longer. I think you're right. Like, it's probably been maybe October, September, something like that. Kind of
Something like that.
loose little plans. And I know that you've been doing a lot of talking with Cass over at Lake Monster Details, and then we both kind of talked with Will over at the Ensigns Chair on YouTube. So I don't know. I Ken, you know a little bit about this model, and you kind of have some data pulled up about it. So let's talk a little bit about this kit. Let's talk about this 537 scale Miranda class from Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, it has an interesting history. It's been around for a while. There was originally a limited edition kit that was done that was not AMT. It was the current manufacturer, which is part of round 2, I think.
Okay.
So, and basically it came out in 1993 from Sci-Fi Spaceship Miniatures as a limited edition kit. Yeah. And then
I've never heard.
Yeah, I know, I've never heard of them either. So I don't know if it was a resin or if they were doing plastic. And then the 2 years later in 1995 is when the AMT kit came out. And I don't know if they bought the molds from the other people or if they did a brand new mold. I'm not too sure. ScaleMates does say it is a new tool, so it's hard to say.
Okay.
But then they didn't, when the kit went out of production, they didn't re-release it until 2011 with a release. Yeah, and then a follow-up with a different box in 2012.
Of course.
Actually, 2 different boxings from that 2011, 2012. Then they did the previous release as well with the 2017. And then finally, this new one we got with this new boxing of 2024, where they have changed the mold. Now, the old style had kind of stepped lines on the hull, and I believe the bridge section, the saucer section was a lot thinner or narrower. So they've kind of beefed that up. They got rid of those stepped lines on the side, which had just little indentations to represent windows, which really doesn't look that good. And yeah, they got rid of them and smooth now. However, on the downside, they didn't actually put the windows in.
Yep. Yep. So what were they called? Smoothies? Is that what these are called? Smoothies?
No, Smoothie was for the 537 Enterprise. The original boxing of the Enterprise was a smooth hull, and then every release since then they had this fake engraved Aztecing that's nothing like the actual Aztec pattern. put
Oh
in.
God.
So yeah,
Oh man. Oh,
but
cool.
this
That's
kit
really
is
cool.
definitely looking like it's should be easy to light.
Yeah, that's the thing that the one thing I've noticed about AMT kits, at least from like when you get a round two kit, or I guess what are the 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 ones that are the snap kits, the polar lights. The polar
Yep.
lights models are very poor kind of quality. They're not the greatest. They build okay, but um AMT, when you actually get into one of these kits, I'm finding these new kits, they seem to be built pretty well, and they know that we're going to light them, and this model looks like it's going to be fantastic for lighting. I'm really looking forward to doing that portion of it, but it's going to be a whole complicated process, that's for sure.
Yes. However, we do have our good friend Will at the Ensigns Chair. He managed to put together some really nice resin pieces to assist in actually putting windows in the ship and showing how it's all lit with light boxes and everything.
And adding a lot of detail that this model is just flat out missing. Like there's just detail that's just not there that he was able to replicate. I got to say, Will has done a fantastic job with this, and it's inspiring to be able to work with him on this because he's kind of given us access to some stuff that people can't even get right now just yet, and just to be able to tap into his brain and then add our own little flair to this is going to be really, really cool. I'm excited about that.
Oh, definitely for sure. Although I just want to say that I did call him our good friend. Realistically, I've never met the man. I think I
Uh, you
talked to him
know,
in email, and he seemed awesome.
Yeah, I got an email from him as well, and I swear I met him with Ian at Wonderfest.
Okay.
And yeah, I swear, like I could be wrong, but I did see one of his models that he had built, and I know that he was there, and I'm gonna definitely seek him out when I go there this year. But just from his videos, you can tell that he's just a really nice guy. The interaction we had, very just cordial and willing to share. Um, in this amazing hobby that we do, right? And he's just willing to share freely ideas, and these STLs, he could charge a pretty penny for them, but he didn't. And it's just pretty amazing. And same with Cass, So the other side
Yeah.
of the coin, I so credit where credit is due. A lot of this build is happening because of the generosity of time from Cass over at Lake Monster Details, and then Will at the Ensigns Chair. Ken has done an amazing job, I will say, of talking to these guys to kind of arrange to get some things sent our way. So I guess talk a little bit about the mods.
Yeah, we certainly could.
Yeah, I like it. I had a little bit more space. My camera's a little higher up here, so I got a little more space to
Yes.
work with.
I'll have a closer in view of the parts.
Yes, indeed.
So these are the 3D printed parts from Cass over at Lake Monster. And Cass was awesome with getting these to us as soon as he could, and he wanted to make sure they were perfect. So he had a
Yeah,
few issues, and he held them back because he's like, "Well, I'm not going to give you guys, substandard parts." So yeah, no, thank you very much, Cass. Really
yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely. And these are some of the best prints that I've ever seen. Like, he's using the same printer as I have, and I can't get this level of quality. It's
Yes,
insane.
like it's even you can
Insane.
see there's little textured areas,
Yes.
for where different shapes and stuff are going to go for the Aztecing.
One of the ones that I really enjoyed, and it was just in the episode that I just finished up, is this part, which houses the impulse crystal. He really
Yes.
did an amazing job of getting that ribbing in there. You can just like paint it if you wanted to, but he actually like designed that in and was very picky about how that turned out. And I got to say that is a superior piece. Like that printing detail is amazing. It's a very simple piece, of course, but it's just amazing. Like the work that he did here.
Yes, and
Um,
if you look at the kit part that's mounted on the kit, this is flat and it has none of this these
no ribbing.
no ribbing at all.
Yep. And it's the same thing here for the lower
Yes.
impulse crystal or whatever it is. I can't remember what this one is.
Yeah.
This might be
A lot of people think it's
the
impulse crystal, but if you watch Will's build there, he actually has a blinking light in there because that's all that is actually on the movie. It's just a
yep,
blinking yellowish
like a
white.
breathing yellow light. Yeah, exactly. My
Actually,
plan
it's
is it
flashing in sync with the marker
with
lights.
oh, that's right. Very
Yep.
cool. Yeah. And that definitely is going to get lit up. And if you look at the back here, like you can see the build plate
Yes.
on the
Yep.
back. I love that build plate that the Saturns have. Um, and you haven't got the part yet, but how that one works is this piece that I printed. This is the light box for that piece. And how that works is when you trim it off. I'll go ahead and trim it off now, actually. Why not? Could bust up the Sonic Sabre, but
Yes.
that's another thing. I don't know if it's a mod, but we're definitely going to be using the Sonic Sabre quite a bit for this build.
Oh, for sure.
But how this works is when you put it into the model, then this light box just sits right down on top of it, and then you plug your LED in there, and then it just focuses the light right inside. So Cass basically printed out the designs from Will that he created, and then Will made, because he's not necessarily like obsessed with these being created, just create a little light boxes for himself, but willingly shared the files. So these just kind of exemplify and make these a little bit better.
And some people have asked in HTM community why light boxes. Actually, if you watch Will's build, and this will be more for you, Jordan, than for
Mhm.
me,
Right.
um, he's gonna have his ship like, and you're using an Arduino. Are you? Is that what
Yes.
it's called?
Yep.
Right.
I'm
So
using an
you're gonna
Arduino.
program stuff, and I believe that's what Will's gonna be doing because he's gonna have it so certain parts of the lights in the ship turn on, so it doesn't
In
just all
sequence.
turn on at once. It just kind of sections turn on, and then the whole ship lights up.
Yep. They're going to be done in a fire up sequence, and I also want to do the same thing. Yes.
Right. So that's why the light box is that way you can have different sections light up without spillover from those lit up areas.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And then these are all the window sections. So like these are the windows right for along the edge of the saucer. And then
Yes.
yeah, those ones. Where are they? That one. Those ones are really really cool. These ones are the ones that sit kind of in this area where the saucer comes up and then pops up a little bit. This is going to be that on the port side. Um, yeah, that's what that looks like. These are really nice. And there's some lines drawn in there as well. A little
Yeah,
bit.
that's what I'm looking at here. If my camera will focus, I don't know how well you can see that. There's the actually engraved lines
Yeah,
all throughout.
which are very slight. And actually, oh, this is a great panel for that. Are we looking at the same one? Oh, maybe not. So
No, I'm looking at the kind of the side corner of what's
got it.
facing front.
So I think this is the one of the front facing on the top windows. You can really pick out those lines. Kind of
Yes,
as yeah,
and they look
that's
terrific.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
they really do.
I think that's supposed to
Uh,
be like the sensor lines. Is that what those are supposed to be?
those are sensor bands, correct? And it's also to delineate, between each one of the decks as well.
Right.
That's very, very cool. Yeah, those are really nice pieces. They did a fantastic job. And like there's also got to mention, so like here is one of the deflector arrays. And he did an amazing job of getting that detail in there. Because on the model, all you get is this vague little pit.
Yes.
Just a vague pit.
And then there's the
And
front part of that same area of the ship.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The little knobs that sit in front.
Yeah. As opposed to just a flat, featureless piece.
Yeah. No, these are the level of detail. And then one of the things that above the shuttle bays, these little triangle pieces.
Oh, yes.
And these are kind of infamous on this model for being put incorrectly. So
apparently they're on the actual model. The ones that are molded in are not aligned properly and they're too small. So that these correct that. Thanks again, Will.
he went through and has taken so much time to design all of this. Like I can barely print on my 3D printer, and he's out here like literally creating custom designs. It's insane. Oh, what are those? I wonder what those
Way
are.
off camera here.
Those are RCS quads, I think.
Yeah,
No, maybe.
Sure. I'd have to watch back his videos to remember.
Yeah, I think those might be the RCS thrusters, the little lights that sit in here.
No, those are the arts. I do have a set of RTS thrusters, or RCS thrusters, that are right here from Lake Monster.
Oh, okay.
These are actually for the Enterprise refit, but they do have.
Oh yeah, that's right. He retrofitted them to make it work. You had to shave down one of them
this area here.
Work. Yeah, that's right. Oh, I might have to order those too.
Yeah, it's got the part for it's got the whole area here for the one light up top, and then it's got the two. I don't know how well you can see it on the two squares on the front, where you actually have the where the light's going to come out on those as well.
Very cool.
They're clearly marked.
Very cool. I'm definitely gonna have to order those for sure.
Yes.
More money into this model. Yay.
It's a very actually inexpensive part, and
sweet.
You're going to get more than you need, because there's the Enterprise has more of them than the
yeah, because the Enterprise has another set of these just along the other side of the saucer.
Yes.
Yep. Very cool. Yep, and then all I did was go through and took Cass's files and or not Cass's files, but Will's files, and printed off all the light boxes for the entire ship. How they work, I went ahead and removed one of these already. I think it's for this one. It is. So you have the hull. This goes back behind, and then this replaces the whole section that you were going to cut out. Then it acts as a light box. You fit right around that. And then if you want, you could put a small film in between to kind of diffuse the light, because there's a built-in line in there as well. But that's how this works, and that's how that fits. I'm really happy that the parts that I printed work with the parts that Cass printed. I had a brief panic moment, but I'm still in the process of printing. I basically just gave you all the parts that I had.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And I just went through and I'm going through and printing more as I'm trying to figure out what I need. So yeah, those are very cool. I'm very happy with that. And then, of course, we have the new bridge and A and B deck. This is very cool. I actually opened mine at one point.
So have I.
And it's two pieces.
Yeah, like sticking together though. There we go. We might have to put a little more UV light on the bottom here. Help it cure a little bit more, maybe.
It's a little sticky.
Just a little bit, just on the center here.
Yeah, same actually. Mine's a little sticky on the bottom as well.
Yeah.
How interesting. Yeah, they went through and designed and meticulously like figured out exactly what the bridge looked like for the Reliant. And I gotta say, this looks really good. This is a really, really nice quality piece, designed for lighting.
Yeah.
The
It's even got all
windows,
these little detailed bumps on here,
yeah,
going around the edge.
the gold for the top of the bridge dome. That's very cool.
Now I gotta rewatch or maybe go over Will's video again. I can't remember if the this light back here, it's probably going as well, I would assume.
Yep. So that's going to be one of the blinking nav lights. So
Right.
one of the very top of the ship, and then the very bottom of the at the far extremes of the ship. Correct.
Right.
And there's also going to probably be just a white solid lit beacon right back behind there.
Yes, you can see the spot for it.
Yep. And I remember that when he was talking about it in the video, he went through great painstaking work to try to get the very front of the bridge there to have the proper lighting. Wow, my camera
Okay.
actually
Yeah.
focused on it for a half second. So yeah, no, these are really nice. I do agree. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of UV light on it right now and just see what happens.
Yeah. I don't know if this is actually. I'm assuming it's UV resin.
Should be. Let's go ahead and give it a little. Don't look at it, folks.
I'm just gonna move that over to the side and look at the warp nacelles.
Yes. These chiller girls are so nice.
Yes.
Oh man. So Ken and I had many discussions about what we're going to be doing for the chiller girls.
Yes,
and
technically in the movie, you never see them lit ever.
That's right. But it was always the intention for them to do so. So we are going to go in spirit here. Not in spirit of Halloween, but in spirit. Maybe that helped a little bit. But we're going to go in spirit of what's supposed to be. I love that Cass always gives you that reminder to wash your parts. It's a good personal life. It's a good personal life lesson as well. Wash your parts. Oh, nope, don't. Oh, Jordan, I just opened that like a goon. All the instructions are inside. I didn't realize that. Forgot how he does it.
Yes, for a lot of his parts, you're going to see his instructions are inside the top flap that the part came in.
This is what I just did.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a smart man. Okay, let's take a look at these. I actually waited this long to open these. I'm kind of surprised. Ooh, these are nice.
They are.
Those are really nice, actually. And the grooves are really deep in there. So if you want to do the bronzing of the nacelles, you can run some pinstriping tape down there and keep the blues in the middle, and then do the bronze over the top to get that. Ooh, that's what I'm doing. Yep, so I'm gonna bronze mine.
Well, that's probably what I'm gonna do after watching you guys do like the big D build.
Yep, exactly. Oh yeah. Oh, those look good. These are really, really nice. Those grooves in the grills are so nice. Wow. I'm really impressed. They're a bit concaved as well. If you look at them straight on.
Yes. You can see how they're concaved.
Yeah, that's really nice. Oh man, sweet. What are you going to be doing for electronics on yours?
Well, actually, I have a few more parts to show off.
Nice.
For then the cells, I have the Green Strawberries Miranda class intercooler assembly.
Oh, cool.
To kind of make those look really nice. I'm trying to remember where I got these. I think Cult, or was it Cult Man, or was it? Yeah, I can't remember where I got them from. But anyway, there they are. So a little bit more detailed. Looking really
Very
nice.
cool.
And then the other thing I got was the phasers and torpedo launcher upgrade.
Very cool. I need to get those as well. Oh man, I can't believe I didn't get all that yet. George, slacking.
Yeah. So again, Green Strawberry, really good aftermarket for photo etch and their resin parts. Yeah, they do a great service to the community.
Indeed.
So, and it looks like they're just easy swappable parts, and then compared to what the kit parts are. But let's get out and take a look at them. So here's the super phasers.
Very nice. Wow, those are
My
cool.
understanding is that that's what they're called.
Huh.
On they go on the roll bar, and then we have the that is beautiful. Look at those. I don't know if it will focus or not.
Oh yeah, those look great.
Yeah.
Wow, that detail. That detail's nuts. Wow.
So again, huge leap from what the standard kit parts look like.
Oh, buddy. I got some more purchasing to do, don't I?
And then I know you just ordered yours tonight, but also there we go, the photo etch.
Photo etch. Beautiful.
Yeah. So this is from Paragraphics, and there are a few parts we don't need. We're not going to need the templates here for drilling the windows out because we have the resin windows. Here's those larger parts that go on either side of the shuttle bay in photo etch if you didn't want to do resin. But we are going to need these side grills here, these grills. I'm guessing these ones.
For the Opus engines,
yeah.
Okay.
There's some really good photo etch to use on this.
Awesome. Yep.
All right.
And so I guess electronics. You also have what Tenet controls, right?
Yes. I'm not going to pull that out, but I do have the Tenet controls board.
Nice.
It comes with two speakers, though, oddly. One speaker does the noise for the photon torpedoes, and one speaker does the noise for the super phasers.
How interesting. How interesting.
But I've not done a lot of electronics in model kits, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand why. Like, they probably just want to keep the logic circuit simple, but that is a very interesting. They can do too. I'll be doing an Arduino. Likely going to have a single speaker in mine, and it'll all be custom coded. That's the plan. I plan for all the nav lights or all the formation lights or nav lights to blink, and a couple effects and stuff like that. Who knows? With an Arduino, your kind of brain is the limit what that's going to be. So that's what I'm going to be doing for that. And then the last little mod that Ken and I both have are some beads. Will and I guess others have used these beads to create the phaser turrets on these ships. And the whole idea is they have built-in little holes because they're beads for bracelets and such. These are like what, $4 or $5 on Amazon, something like that.
Yeah,
maybe
much.
Not much, and we have enough to do several Reliant and other Starfleet ships as well. But yeah, we'll be using these to replace the turrets on the ship. And then I'm sure that as we go along, there's probably going to be several different mods that we're going to wind up creating on our own. I'm going to be doing you're going to be doing the Raytheon lighting as well, right?
I might be. If you watch last night's stream, we were talking about it around just before the 2 hour mark, a couple of minutes before
Okay.
it. They were saying, I think it was mostly Andrew and maybe Keith, or no, Donnie maybe was talking about how the Raytheon effect actually doesn't look that good. So I don't know
Really?
what I'm gonna do. So I
Okay.
might go for it anyway and have it hooked up to a separate light, because all the other lights in the saucer area will be in their own little window box. So
Right.
I might be able to still do the Raytheon effect. And if I have that one wire coming down into the stand, I can choose to whether or not
To use it.
whether I want to connect it or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Well, it's
but
going
I'll
to have to
probably
be
do
one of those
testing when I'm
experiments.
painting and just see what it looks like as is.
Absolutely. So I think that's what we've got for the builds. What's the plan? We've been kind of, Ken's got the mask design, masks as well. I'm kind of jumping ahead.
Yes.
Um, Somewhere around here, I don't, now that I've talked to Ken before this, I was like, do I have decals or do I have an actual mask? I'm not sure. There's somewhere around here I got to find out. So likely be picking that up or an Aztec dummy.
Yeah. So if you watch Mass Designs YouTube videos, you can see just recently within the past 6-8 months, maybe he's done this kit here for the Reliant. Awesome video to watch. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So, for both of us, we're going to try to release an episode once a week if we can. No promises. But the plan for us is to, have a controlled build in such a sense that we're building this together and not trying to get too far ahead of each other. Although we will probably start in the same place and wind up diverging off during the course of the build, as all modelers do, because if we're building the same thing and doing the same thing, it wouldn't be modeling. It would just be building what everybody else builds. So we're basically going to kind of do the segment. We're going to have an intro and all the usual stuff. We'll do our builds, and at the end of every one of our videos, we'll be sitting down. We'll be meeting once a week and reviewing what we've gotten done and talking about what we're going to be doing next. And we're going to try to get out, like I said, an episode a week, but we'll just call them episodes as they come out. Do you have anything else to add to kind of what the schedule and the plan is for this?
I don't think so. I think that sounds like pretty much it. And like you said, there might be other kit parts or other things that, as time goes on, that we might decide to switch over to.
Exactly. I mean, that's the beauty of modeling is we both have the same kit, but we can run into different problems just for the different builds or have different ideas. But the idea is ultimately in the end to build a couple of amazing Reliant or yeah, no Miranda class USS Reliance.
Yes.
So I guess to formally begin the build, if we were to cut the tape and say go, where are you starting this weekend?
I'm going to start on the upper, I guess, saucer slash hull area that you're going
Okay.
to see. I don't know if you want to show that, the size of the.
Oh yeah, you probably should. Let's go and pop her out
Don't
here.
necessarily have to go through the parts right now, but just to show off.
The size here. So this is what
Yeah.
we're working with, and I'm on a fairly large map. This is a 24 by 36, and so no 36 by 48. I don't know, whatever it is. This is this is 13 and a half inches long and 10 inches wide. Um, and some pretty good details. So where we're going to be starting, and I'm the same with you. It's it's not inside. I'll go ahead and bust it in the package. I'll open the package. Why not?
Yes.
Just into that.
Yeah, so I'm going to start on the top. The AB deck, Jordan and I were both talking about that, and the bridge is kind of, I think, where we're both starting. That's kind of the sparkly jewel, hey, look over here type of part of the ship.
Yep, and that's where we're both going to be starting. I mean, there's you start here, top-down approach, and I got to say that this is a very nice feeling plastic. Holding it up against my lights, it doesn't look like there's any. The plastic consistency is there. It doesn't feel like there's any spots that are just naturally going to be warmer or colder via lighting. So it should be really easy to put together. But Will did mention that there are all these little molding marks. We're likely going to have to remove all those.
Okay.
We'll see. And those may be mounting points as well. I don't know. But I got to say, this is a really nice kit. This looks really nice. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be starting as well. Top of the model.
Yeah, I just want to say for anybody watching the video, we're filming right now, beginning of February of 2025. So if you're watching this in the future, this kit may not be available so readily anymore. But at the time of filming, this kit is still in production, and you could easily acquire the kit as well as these brand new resin parts. At the time, no one else had access to them other than Will, who created them, and Cass, who printed them off for us. They will be going up for sale, though, with Lake Monster very shortly.
Indeed. Well, awesome, man. Are you ready to get this thing going?
I am ready.
Awesome. Well, I think it's time to start building and doing a little bit of plastic melting with a little bit of Sonic Sabre action. What do you say? Love it. All right. Well, that's it for me. You got anything to say?
No, I'm just looking forward to this build.
All right. Well, I was hoping to have a quote from Khan readily available, but now that I think about it, nothing is coming off the top of the hand.
Buried alive? I'll leave you like you left me. Buried alive. Buried
alive. Oh, man. I can also say from the depths of hell, I stab at thee. But that's not a good way to end a video. What do you say? All right, my friends. Well, until next time, for me, Jordan, Line in the Stars, and for you, Ken.
And for me, Ken at Ken's Hobby Bench.
Thank you, guys. And we will see you next time.
Take care.
All right. So, after a lot of talking and planning and all of this has been going on for months, and I'm just super excited to do the first thing on this model, which is going to be taking the Sonic Sabre and hacking this bridge module up. So what I've done beforehand, just to save a little bit of time, is I went ahead and took my mechanical pencil here. I got a 0.3 millimeter drafting pencil, and I just went around the outside. You can see where I kind of traced the line. Sorry, the sun's a little actually out today with some snow outside, so it's really bright out. And my lights are not helping, but I traced a little line around the outside and along the back there, and that's where we're going to cut out. And then we're going to be replacing it with the Lake Monster Details bridge module. And before we do that, though, after we get this cut out, we're going to need to cut out the center section here using the Sonic Sabre, and cutting resin parts is exactly what this thing is for, as it's made from Frozen. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get to cutting. I am a little nervous about this, so let's see how this goes. If you guys aren't familiar with the Sonic Sabre, it is an ultrasonic cutter, and it makes things like this so much easier, because normally you'd have to drill 100 little holes and then use an actual like hobby knife to cut around. Now, all we do is press the button, plunge in. There is a little bit of melt action that happens, and you just kind of plunge in and cut. When you're done, let go, and you're good to go. So we're going to come in at an angle, just like this. And we're just going to go along where I scribe my line. And down, around. There's going to be a little bit melting, so I'm trying to cut up a little bit from where the actual line is. There we go. As we'll do a little bit of cleanup later on as we go along. Such a time saver. And, my buddy in this build, Ken, was very kind enough to send this along to me. And it makes a world of difference for doing anything within this hobby. Because you don't need to do all of the extra work just to get the same result as this tool does all of the hard work for you by itself, which is very nice. Do need to be careful. Should probably be wearing gloves, but here we are. All right, let's go ahead and take a look to see what we got from down below. And for the most part, we got all the way around. Boom. Just like that. Look at that. Obviously, we're going to need to do a little bit of cleanup, but we have to give this a try, right? To see how close we got. And I do got to say that it's a little rough over here. I may have made a tactical error right there, but we can actually, well, yeah, I'm going to need to putty that like crazy right there. Yeah, the first side that I cut, I didn't do the greatest a job right over there. Yeah. So, a little excited. But that's fine. That's what putty is for. Okay. So, get this in here properly. I'm going to need to do a little bit of cleanup. So, for that, I'm going to use a combination of my Sonic Sabre, because you're able to use it to kind of just... The knife itself on it is super sharp. And what you're able to do, specifically like right through here, is shave right along the inside. Trying to be kind to the area that I obviously butchered a little bit there. But this knife is sharp enough that you really don't even need to activate it sometimes, as these blades are ridiculously sharp. And once again, I'm not too worried about how that turned out right there. I see what I did wrong. Especially when I got around to the other side. I should have been looking at it a little bit more directly. Things learned. Then, going to take the Sonic Sabre. Alright, do that. Let's grab our piece and see how we're doing better for fit. It's looking better. Alright, so we need to do a little bit of work around the front. Yep. As you can see, a little bit of a lip right along the front there that we need to clean up. So for that, I think I will grab my eraser file and see how this goes first. Let's see how that does. A little slow going, but it works. Wonder. Don't be impatient, Jordan, but I wonder. Yeah, it's working a little bit faster and just cutting it down to the base level here. Yeah, that works great. These Sonic Sabres, man. Just got to be careful. Pay attention to where your hand's at. You don't want to do that fling action with your hand too close. Try not to put too much pressure. Let the blade do the work. The sound can be a little horrific from time to time. That's working quite nice. look. Much better. Now, before we try to fit anything, clean up the workspace here. Let's grab the file. Put this back in its holster here. Got to put googly eyes on everything there, of course. And just get this sanded up. Alright, it's looking a little bit better. Now, I do have the thinner racer file, so we can come along the inside here. Sanding down on the inside. Horrible sound. Okay, let's see how that fits. Ah, there you go. So, close the gap there a little bit on that side, actually. So I'm a little less sad, actually, about what happened there. Okay. And then along this side, I need to clean up along here a little bit. A little high. And just shave down. It's a lovely sound. This thing can make some pretty awful sounds, I'll be quite honest. There we go. Shave down a little bit more over here. There's a little bit more here, and I think I'll use the file for that. Let's give that a fit. All right, actually, that looks pretty good. So it's been out of focus there for a second. I apologize. All right, so I'm pretty happy with how that fits into place there. I was going to need to do a little bit of putty work around the outside, and I'll probably do a little bit of more shaving here after I get it glued in. Actually, probably a little bit before I get glued in. But that is how that works for the sake of it. Now, I wanted to take my time and get this fitted into place before I go ahead and do the gluing. I want to make sure that everything is seated down there nice, and I don't want to feel rushed by the camera, which it happens to do. So, before we go today, I'd like to do a little bit of comparison between the two parts. So here's the stock piece, and obviously the white is blowing it out with the white plastic, but it is a fairly generic stock piece. This one here has a lot of detail. You can see all the windows, the observation lounge. It's a much better model. And the bridge dome itself, I'm not going to fish it out of the kit, but does look so much better. This whole thing is going to turn out really good. So, get that set off to the side. But before we go, I do want to show you how well this thing cuts through resin, because this is actually what it is meant to do. And it makes cutting through clear resin, which can be a bit of a pain in the butt, such an easy process. So all I'm going to do is just run along the inside here, activate, press down, and go in. Being very careful. Release off the trigger. as I was getting close to my finger there. And we just go around the outside here. Just like that. Then, trigger, activate, down, and in. And just like that, our part is all taken care of. So, do a little bit of cleanup around the inside here. Cuts it so nicely. There we go. It does melt a little bit if you guys aren't familiar with the Sonic Sabre. So do be careful, move quickly. Don't pause for too long on any sort of spot. And then, that is how the bridge module fits into place. Get it set down inside. So, there we are. Get this all put together, cleaned up a little bit more, and then before the next episode, you'll go ahead and see this I'll get this put into place, and we'll talk about what we're going to be doing for the modifications for the kit, because we're going to be spending the next couple episodes cutting this up and putting custom parts into place. So, there it is, my friends. The buddy build has begun. I've been super excited about building this model and being able to use all the little toys and things that we've been gathering along the way to build it. So, look for us next week. A lot of cool stuff to happen. So, that's what I got for you today as I try to kill myself with the Sonic Sabre. That's what I got for you today, and I just want to say thank you. I know that there's a million things you could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me, watching me build a model, and I think that's pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. Like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where we happen to be. And remember to catch us next week, or otherwise you will be caught buried.